Hello, welcome to Network. My name is Pumela Zondi with your technology and social media news. Remember that it's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. This week, our Twitter poll is asking you about whether you are making those online purchases, as they're finding out that e-commerce keeps on growing in South Africa. Results of that are coming up later in the program. Here's what's coming up in this particular episode. We look at 2 years since the July 2021 unrest and what's been learned from the use of social media there. We have details on a hybrid vehicle. And in our conversation, we chat about investment in online spaces, as July is Investment Month. In July 2021, there was unrest that took place in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Social media was found to have played a key role in how that unrest was organized. 2 years on, we're looking at whether any lessons have been found from the use of social media in such activity.
The army has been deployed in areas identified as hotspots after 20 trucks were set alight last week in Mpumalanga, KZN, Limpopo and the Free State. National intelligence experts say South Africa's failure to detect criminal activity such as truck attacks casts doubt on intelligence agencies that are funded by the state. Is the security cluster equipped to deal with acts of criminality in the country? Deputy National Commissioner Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibia says they had knowledge of the planned attacks.
Early warnings were sent to all the provinces, and all the provincial commissioners implemented to an extent that whatever that it could have been worse, but because of the intelligence and states working with the state security, we were able to know about this information timelessly and also make sure that we deploy all the resources on the ground.
The country marks 2 years after the riots that plagued KwaZulu-Natal and parts of Gauteng. The violence took South Africa by surprise at the time, although messages on social media platforms such as WhatsApp had been circulating, warning of such an incident. The question now is, what cyber and social media lessons have we learned?
We have learned a lot from the unrest that happened, especially with the looting. As you mentioned, social media was a huge contributing factor in terms of spreading the message. And probably people that didn't want to get involved initially in the looting started jumping onto the bandwagon because they saw an opportunity to obviously abuse the system with the lack of controls that were in place. And unfortunately, at that point, we didn't really have a lot of legislation, and the law wasn't that prominent where we could digitally go and track perpetrators and understand who are the individuals behind spreading these messages, who are individuals that are creating fake news.
Over 350 people were killed and dozens of others injured in the looting and rioting. The South African intelligence structures are criticized for not responding adequately to the 2021 July unrest and recent truck attacks. Lieutenant General Sibia says they have learned a lot of lessons in the past 2 years.
We have learned our lessons as the intelligence community, and I can tell you and assure South Africans that we do have a capable state. Our intelligence has been hard at work on the ground. This thing was in fact picked up somewhere around June, somewhere where there was a meeting, and that all these plans were abandoned, but the intelligence have been on the ground, hard at work. That is why we were able to even arrest these people.
After the failure to foresee the July 2021 unrest, South Africa was forced to look at legislation and ways to stop crimes before they happen. Dark web expert Abdul Musa says in December 2021, South Africa introduced the Cyber Act.
The Cyber Crimes Act gives the SAPS and other law enforcement bodies within the country the ability, without your permission, to go and track your communications. So now they're able to go and understand what messages have you been sending, are you posting fake news? And if you look at the NPA as an example, the National Prosecuting Authority, there's clear guidelines in the Cyber Crimes Act that says what you can be criminally prosecuted for if you basically break the law in terms of abusing digital communications. Looting is one aspect, but we also look at cybercrime acts like cyberbullying.
Police Minister Begicele says they've identified 12 persons of interest in connection with the torching of the trucks. There is still speculation around the motive for the torching of the trucks. Even though police intelligence knew beforehand about the planned truck attacks, they still were executed across several provinces.
A lot of people want expensive smartphones nowadays, and some people will tell you that it's probably because they are on social media and they want the crispest videos. But what's in a smartphone and its pricing? As South Africa is attracting a lot of brands that want to launch their high-end devices that cost thousands and thousands of rand. South Africa is a contested market for high-end smartphone companies whose devices range between 20 and 50,000 rand. Despite the struggles with the economy and a high unemployment rate, they believe there's still a customer here who wants premium devices.
The camera, the quality of the phone, the feel when you hold the phone, and I think the new Oppo Reno 10 Plus has everything. Because we travel sometimes and you need to take memories and you need to take photos, so those photos you keep them as memories. So the camera has to be the first thing that I look for.
Beyond the camera, space, durability and usability are often top of mind.
High-end users want premium features, and unfortunately in South Africa most of our flagship phones are extremely expensive. So Oppo has the edge here by releasing a premium phone with premium features at an affordable price. And I'm personally looking forward to trying out the camera because that's the first thing I check on a phone. And I think a lot of South Africans love mobile photography, and this is something that I'm looking forward personally to test on the phone.
I think it's really important for South Africans to give new brands a chance, and I mean Oppo has really come in strong and offers really good value for money. I think the ability to bring in phones as strong as the Reno 10 is incredible, especially for what you're getting price-wise.
Oppo is relatively new to the South African market. It was during lockdown that they came to South Africa. The Chinese brand feels the new Reno 10 series is perfectly placed at over 20,000 rand, but they're not announcing that cash price. They only speak of contract prices.
We're going to be looking at our Reno 10 series being available from as little as $699 per month. The Pro Plus model available from $899 per month. But we are very excited to be announcing our Oppo Pad Air bundle together with the Reno 10 Pro Plus from as little as $999 per month on contract.
Oppo is going into a space that already has fellow Chinese competitor Huawei, South Korea Samsung and Apple from America. Oppo, however, appears to be cheaper than other high-end devices for now.
So we've been seeing a lot of segmentation in the market leading towards ultra premium and then mid-range. And there's this premium bracket that seems to have a bit of a gap in it where people aren't getting quite the bang for their buck that they want. And I think with the Reno 10 Pro Plus, it's bringing more variety to that segment where people usually have too few choices or either have to increase their budget or decrease their budget because of the lack of choice.
This year, we've also seen Huawei launching their devices that include the Mate 50 and P60 series. They've repeatedly tried to get rid of worries about lack of access to Android, which has hurt their sales. This is because of problems in America. Currently, Samsung dominates the South African market, which shows that this is still Android country. There is an option of a hybrid vehicle if you don't want to use that fuel and if you don't want electricity.
This is Volvo XC40 B5, and these are my 5 favorite things about it. Number 1, it looks like it's fast even though it's standing still. And number 2, it's a mild hybrid petrol powertrain. It offers the driver plenty of performance. Number 3, it's a ground clearance, which means you can take it anywhere. I did. And number 4, Number 5, it has a 360 view function that activates all parking cameras. Let's clear up some confusion and get to know the difference between full electric and hybrid cars. An electric vehicle is solely reliant on electricity as a form of energy. A hybrid car, like this one, uses combustion of an internal combustion engine in either petrol or diesel form, in conjunction with electric motors to power the wheels. It will have both battery system and a fuel tank. So SABC promotes mobile journalism. This video was shot from a mobile phone. Drop us your comments and tell us what you think about this video.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we chat about how you can use online platforms to invest, as July is Savings Month. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za. On email, welcome back. Now, July is known as National Savings Month in South Africa. And we do know that about 65% of our salaries goes towards servicing debt. And that's according to Debt Busters. But there are a myriad of options that are available online that can help us save if we don't want to meet up with that physical person who can help us do this. To discuss this and some of these options is Makwe Masilela, who is from Makwe Fund Managers. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network, Makwe. And maybe if we can start by discussing why it's important for us to save as South Africans and to put that money aside.
Investing is critical in the sense that you are deferring the current consumption to later, and later in the sense that we know that naturally people are no longer that economically active later in life, and that's when their expenses also continue to go up, whether it's medical or they need a comfort way of living, and also they don't even want to be a burden to the state or to other people as well. So we are trying to save money for the future so that you'll be able to continue to have some financial independence. So that suits you as an individual for you to be able to do that. But we know there are also benefits as well when it comes to the government, because an economy which has got high levels of savings that cushion them against some outside shocks and some external shocks that might come into the economy. So you as an individual, you are just doing yourself a big favor by putting money aside for the future.
What kind of digital options are out there that you can use when you want to save online?
People offer almost everything online, but what's critical is what is it that you want to achieve as an investor that will help you that will guide you to know where to go, number one. And what's important is that now lately you've got scams where people are taking advantage of individuals, promising them to make 100% return, stuff like that. If it's too good to be true, then definitely it is. But you get legit platforms where they will tell you that, number one, as a bank, you are able to do this account, open an account using a platform like that and guaranteed a certain percentage. And you know that that bank is legit, as an example, or that insurance company is legit, because what's also more important is to check if those people are registered with the necessary regulators. Then you get platforms where they advise you and tell you that you'll be able to buy shares directly on the stock exchange. Also very critical to make sure that you know that those people are legit, to make sure that they are registered with a particular regulator. So you get different forms of investments, whether people they want to do fixed deposit, whether people want to get involved into investing in shares, or people want to open some form of investment that will be locked for a period of 5 years or 3 years, or people want to buy government bonds with a guaranteed certain return. So it all depends on what is it that you want to achieve.
All right, it's good that you assure us that a lot of them are safe and how we can spot the ones that are unsafe and the ones that can possibly take our money. But how easy is it to navigate some of these platforms?
It's not easy for most people, and only for the youngsters, as we know that tech savvy. But yes, for the elderly, it's not. Hence, even when banks or other institutions, they try to move into digital, they still maintain the brick and mortar, because there's still people who feel that, listen, I still need that kind of a contact. I cannot just do everything online. But with time, then they become much easier because they continue to simplify them. So the point is, they are not that easy, but not necessarily that difficult, meaning anyone can be able with time to be able to navigate through them. Unfortunately, others will take them more time, or they might need some more help compared to the others. But yes, we have to be honest, it's not like a quick for everyone. But the tech savvy ones, then it's just a quick. But as we said, just like any other product, the owners of those platforms continuously improve so that they can simplify stuff, but at the same time maintaining the necessary security.
I believe you also have one of these platforms. Tell us about your platform at Makwe. How does it work?
What we do basically is for people just to invest on the JSE, the stock exchange. We have came up with the platform so that people can start investing from as little as 50 rands. As we know that usually when people talk about investing on the JSE, people think that you have to be super rich. So this is to allow anyone from as little as 50 rand per month, whether you do it as EFT or you do it as a debit order, and you can cancel it anytime when you want to cancel it. But it's just to buy shares on the JSE, and our platform is called Route 10 Trading, which is RUTURN Trading. You can get it on Google Play, you can get it on the iStore, and then after registering, and you have to make sure that we've got all the figures in place, you've been verified, then you click on our icon as Makwe Fund Managers, where we'll either manage everything for you, or you can manage the funds for yourself, or you can get the combination where we manage some of the funds and you manage some of the funds. So it's entirely up to you.
And do you guarantee safety and returns?
We are not guaranteeing a return, because when you buy shares on the JSE, shares fluctuate. So you can either make a profit over a period of time, or maybe can be stagnant because you are buying into a particular company. So no one can guarantee your returns when it comes to buying shares on any stock exchange. But we can guarantee you the safety, that this money is safe. People not going to run away with that. It's all legit. It's all registered with the necessary regulators. What we cannot guarantee is how much will you make by investing X amount, because we don't have those kind of guarantees. But the safety part of stuff, definitely that we can guarantee.
All right, thank you very much for being a part of our network. That is Makwe Masilela, who is with Makwe Fund Managers there. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za. On email, stay with us. SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
A digital bakery in Los Angeles is creating intricate candy treats using a first-of-its-kind 3D food printer that uses sugar to craft elaborate designs at scale.
I think that 3D printing has the potential to really remake almost every industry that we can imagine, and food is one of them. But food is so precious to us. We know that, I mean, you can think of food products that we have in our home like bread, Something like that has been just crafted over thousands of years to be, and using microbiology to make just a perfectly crafted piece of food that we all know and expect what it will be like. But there are all these spaces where we accept artistry in food beyond the actual difficulty of the craft. So in dessert space is a really good example where the way something looks is so important to us. It opens up our mind, it makes us accepting and approachable.
The sweet treats can be specially ordered or purchased on Sugar Lab's website, starting at around $25 for 6 1-inch printed strawberries filled with chocolate and ginger ganache. And now in Israel. Every year, egg farmers kill 7 billion day-old male chicks because they cannot grow up to lay eggs and are the wrong breed for meat. A laboratory in Israel has a solution. What if the male eggs don't hatch? All the chicks are female at Yuval Cinnamon's laboratory in central Israel, where new technology offers an answer to what he sees as the most devastating animal welfare issue worldwide, which is the culling and sorting of day-old male chicks in the layers industry.
So what we're trying to do is to give a solution to the probably most devastating animal welfare issue worldwide, which is the culling and sorting of day-old male chicks in the layers industry. It's a practice which currently has to be done due to the differences between broiler breeds, which are chickens for meat, and layer chickens, which are chickens that lay the table eggs. And within the layers industry, about 7 billion day-old male chicks are culled and sorted and culled on the day they hatch because they are unwanted by both the layers and the meat industries. And we are bringing a solution, a viable solution to end this practice.
The unhatched male eggs can be used for other purposes, such as animal feed.
With the massive growth of e-commerce that's been happening in South Africa for the last 3 years, this week our Twitter poll is asking you if this is a space you've started exploring as well, and which aspects of it are you using? And that's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is newsnetwork at sabc.co.za on email. From me, Siphumelele Zondi, and the rest of the network team. Have a good one. Bye-bye.